Good morning, guys, and welcome. In our today's topic, we are going to discuss about what is memory. Topic of discussion is about memory. Okay, and under this topic, what topics we will cover? We will cover about what is the nature and the scope of memory. We will learn about the process of memory that includes your encoding, storage, retrieval. Okay. After that, we will read about types of memory that will cover your declarative, which is also known as called your explicit memory. We will also discuss about non-declarative or implicit memory, and the third one we'll talk about sensory memory, right? And next will be your strategies for enhancing memory. Okay, like what techniques one can use, and under that we will read about mnemonic. Okay, using images. Okay, and also we will discuss about the mnemonic using organization. So this is the topic of discussion in today's video. So I hope you all will enjoy this. So let's begin with our day. It says what the memory is. First of all, we see what is the memory. Right here is the definition is mentioned over here. So it says that memory refers to the process that are used to acquire. Acquire means to gain. Okay, it is a process to gain, store, or retain. Retain means to maintain, and latent retrieve information. Okay, a retrieve means again to recollect it. Okay, in the sense of recollect it, what is stored somewhere, that is called retrieve. So retrieve information, and there are the three major processes involved in the memory. And what are these major processes? These processes are encoding, storage, and retrieval. These are the three main processes of memory which are involved in it. It says that human memory involves the ability to both to preserve and to recover. Means preserve means we can store also, and what is there in the store we can utilize it again. Okay, so human mind is having this ability of preserving and recovering the information we have learned by our experiences. Okay, next we have the nature and scope of memory. Here there are some questions which have been put in the front of you, right? Like if anybody asks you this question, like for example it is given that what did you eat yesterday in the dinner, right? What is the name of your best friend? Do you know how to drive a car or a bicycle? Okay, how do you feel when you got the highest mark in your high school? Okay, so what will happen, the mental process you use to answer this question is known as called your memory. You will start thinking that what did you eat yesterday. Okay, if I ask you what is the name of your best friend, so you will think and you will tell, right? So this all required some kind of recollection. So it refers to the ability to retain information and reproducing it over a period of time when required to perform a cognitive task. Okay, cognitive task means the mental task. Now it has been conceptualized as the process comprised of the three stages. Okay, and it is believed that memory process has the three stages. And what are these three stages? The first one is your encoding, second one is your storage, and third one is your retrieval. Okay, so these are three stages of a mental process, of memory process. There are three stages in memory process: encoding, storage, and retrieval, that you need to remember. Now what is encoding, what is storage, and what is retrieval, we will read. Okay, so first we talk about encoding. So encoding is the process of converting sensory information. Okay, which information? Sensory, through which you sense that information into the form that can be processed further by a memory system. Okay, so here you are changing the sensory information into a form that can be processed. Okay, second is the storage. In this second stage, received information from the memory system are stored so that it can be used in the later time. Okay, that is known as called your storage. Okay, third one is retrieval. Okay, so what is this retrieval actually? If I tell you the dictionary meaning, or if I tell you in the simple words, so just if I give a synonym of it, so retrieval means to recovery. Okay, what we are doing, we are recovering something. This is the process of getting something back, especially from a place where it should not be. Okay, so we are trying to recollect it. So this retrieval refers to locating and bringing the stored material information to one's awareness when required to complete a task. Okay, further we have the types of memories. Okay, that how many types of memory are there. So first we have declarative or explicit memory. Okay, the first one is declarative or explicit. Okay, so declarative is like to declare something, and if you look at the meaning of the term called explicit, okay, so something that is explicit is clear and easy to understand. What we call it, clear and easy to understand. Okay, that is known as called your explicit. This is the meaning of this word. Now under this category of declarative or explicit memory, we have actually, there are three types are there. That is the working, episodic. Okay, now when I say the episodic is something that is happening occasionally. Okay, it is something which is happening occasionally. All right, guys. And the next one is semantic. Okay, when you say semantic, in the sense which something which is connected with the meaning of words and sentences. Okay, so these are the under the declarative memory, these are its subdivisions of it. Okay, next we have, that is a non-declarative. Okay, that is also known as called implicit memory. Okay, so when I use the word called implicit, so implicit is when something is implicit, okay, means suggested without being directly expressed. Okay, so under this we have a priming, okay, we have a conditioning, we have motor or procedural. Now a third kind of memory is, that is our sensory memory. All right, so first is declarative, which is also known as called explicit. Second is non-declarative, which is also known as called implicit. And third one is sensory memory. Okay, so now we are discussing about the first kind of it, that is called as your declarative or explicit memory. I told you the general meaning of it, and what it says, that it refers to the memory system which can be controlled consciously, okay, and for which we are aware of in some form. It involves effort and intention, okay, and it generally declines with the age. Okay, means this memory can decline, it goes in the downward process with the age as you grow, right? Reclining the name of the friends, remembering the contact number or ATM pin involves the declarative memory. Following are the subtypes of it. Okay, and here some examples are also given, like remembering your contact number, ATM pin number. Okay, this comes into the examples of declarative memory. Under declarative memory, the first type we have, that is called your working memory. So it can be considered as a benchmark of consciousness. This system of memory is responsible for processing. It is responsible for processing and storing of information needed for immediate use. Okay, such as remembering a phone number when dialing it on a landline. Okay, solving a mathematical problems. Okay, especially while you're sitting in examination. Okay, working memory or listening to a speech. Second kind here is semantic. Okay, and semantic, I told you that it is connected with the words and their meanings. So the semantic refers to the meaning or the logic. Okay, this subsystem of memory stores knowledge about the world, facts, concepts, logic, and meaning associated with the words or symbols. Okay, here the third subdivision is episodic memory. So the memory associated with our experience of life event is called episodic memory. It is used to recall the past event, okay, such as how did you celebrate your last birthday, what did you eat at today's breakfast, etc. Okay, like for an example, if I give you one example, so like in certain movies they show you, like the past story. Like for an example, the movie like your Three Idiot, right? So this was actually kind of a story base in which they go back, right? So that is an episodic memory, an example of it. Okay, next second one is our non-declarative or implicit memory. So the system of memory for which we have no awareness. Here we have no awareness. It works unconsciously, and see, previous one we had awareness. Okay, we were conscious about it, but here this is opposite to it. There is no awareness, and it is unconscious, unconsciously and without any efforts and intention. Now it is unaffected by again. Okay, now there are the three types of this non-declarative. This is one is known as called priming. Okay, it is the process that works unconsciously and helps in speeding up the process of retrieving. Okay, means recollecting that. This process suggests that memory can be activated unconsciously also. Second type under a non-declarative is conditioning. As already discussed in the previous, that this form of memory is responsible for learning and association between two stimuli. And what is your the stimuli? Stimuli is your plural of the term called stimulus. Okay, it's a plural form of it. Okay, this is the singular and this is the plural form. And if I tell you means in a simple language, so stimuli is something that produces a reaction in a human, an animal, or a plant. Okay, so under this, third is the motor or procedural memory. So the process of learning of motor skill is slow, but once it is well learned, it becomes automatic in nature. Okay. It means that it does not need any further attention or conscious efforts. Okay, once you learnt it means you learnt it. Like for an example, learning how to ride a bicycle. Okay, so once if you have learnt it, so then it doesn't actually need much efforts in that. Such a motor process involved in walking does not need any conscious effort, because once you have learnt how to walk, then it is not every time that you have to be cautious. You just simply walk. Okay, the third kind here is your sensory memory. This is the last type of the memory. This sensory memory, which is also known as called fleeting memory, this is another name for it. Fleeting memory. Sometimes is closely related to the process of perception. Okay, it is responsible for keeping a record of our perceived for a verified period of time. It is important to note that our sensory register works as a memory system. The information from the environment first reaches the sensory memory, and if required, attention is given to the information. It moves to other memory systems. It can store information only for 200 to 500 milliseconds. Now, psychologists have argued that there is a visual sensory memory, an auditory sensory memory, and olfactory. Olfactory is related to smell. Okay, sensory memory, a gustatory means the tastes. Okay, we have the memory for the taste also. Okay, a tactical means a touch memory also. Like when we touch something, if you will touch a table, you can feel this touch with your touch, right? Like for this is mostly found in the blind people. They have the they can, once they touch the thing, they understood that is what it is. Even they can identify the knots by touching them. However, a bulk of literature is available on iconic sensory memory, the memory for visual inputs, echoic sensory memory, the memory of auditory inputs. Okay, George Sperling, one of the psychologists in 1960, was credited for conducting the classical experiment on sensory memory. So, who conducted the classical experiment on sensory memory? So, our answer should be George Sperling in year 1960. Okay, now next we have the strategies for enhancing memory, right? So here they have given one example of the Sakuntala Devi, that since from her childhood she was very good at maths, and who doesn't want like memory like her? Okay, but it is difficult for all of us to have such means everybody is not so God gifted or talented with such aptitude or natural ability. If we quickly look at this part here, so it says that all of us would desire to have the memory like Sakuntala Devi, but most of us suffer from some kind of memory failures. Okay. Now here what we will discuss about the two new words that is known as called, see the spelling here, MNEMONICS. Okay, and here the M is starting, M is silent, so it is pronounced as mnemonics. What we call it? Mnemonic word is there. Okay, and if we look at this dictionary meaning of this, mnemonic means a word or a sentence or a poem that helps you to remember something. Okay, that is known as called mnemonic. And what it says over here, okay, it is a method or a technique of enhancing memory. Okay, mnemonic is what? One of the method which enhance we develop. Now how we develop? Maybe with the help of the words, certain words, maybe with the help of sentences, okay, maybe with the help of poem. We try to keep something in our mind, okay, using these things. So that is known as called your mnemonic. There are basically two broad categories of this mnemonics, has been further divided into the two categories, okay. That is the one is the mnemonic using images, okay, and while using other mnemonic is using organization. Okay, so now here we will discuss about the first strategy of enhancing memory. Okay, number one is mnemonic using images. So there are many strategies which uses images. Mnemonic uses image, means pictures we are using it. Okay, so there are many strategies like this, and this helps to improve the efficiency in retaining and retrieval of information, following the two types of mnemonic images. Now further, this mnemonic images are also divided into the two types. Okay, now what are these two types? Into this, the first is method of lossy. Okay, this is pronounced as lossy. So placing the image at a location, lossy. Okay, pronounced as lossy as it mentioned, right? The plural of that is locus. Now, which refer to the position or a place. This method uses the location of similar place as a cue to retrieve the information. Okay. Now suppose you want to learn a list of objects that you want to buy from a nearby grocery store. Okay. Now this list contains items like eggs, tomato, pen, washing powder, and salt. Now to remember these items, okay, fruits, these items, first you visualize each of them to be located in some separate subtile location, okay, such as in the different rooms of your house. Then what you will do, you will mentally go through your house visualizing each item as a separate place. Like for example, you open the refrigerator, you will check what is available, how many milk packets are available, how many tomatoes are there, right? So you will try to visualize it. And after reaching the market, all you need to do is to take another mental tour of your house. Then again you will remember, when you once you will in the market, you will remember that you have opened your refrigerator, how many packets there were. One packet was already lying, so you do not need extra packets, so you will take limited packets. If there is no packet of milk, then only you will go for 2, 3, 4, whatever is your requirement. So again you need to recall, again after reaching the market, again you will go back to the picture of your refrigerator, what you have seen then. Okay, and you recall the items you have placed in the different location in a sequence. All right, so that is known as called a mnemonic using image. So you are using an image of what was there at your home. Now under this, the next one is the keyword method. The keyword method is considered appropriate for learning vocabulary and foreign language. This method is used for learning languages especially. In this method, any two pieces of information are linked. Okay, any two pieces of information are linked using images. Now here is example is given that if you want, suppose you want to extend your vocabulary for the English language, you come across a word called scowl. Okay, which stand for an angry, bad-tempered expression. Okay, the scowl means what? An angry or the bad-tempered. This means general meaning. So now, in order to learn this meaning, first you need to find a keyword or a familiar word. What your mind will do, you will try to associate this new word with what is there already in your mind or the word which you are already familiar with. So that sounds similar to the target word scowl. Okay, you will find a similar word. Okay, so maybe that can be the similar word could be owl, for example, owl, scowl. Okay, so owl is an easy word for you which you have already learned. So that easy word will help you to learn you this new word. Okay, that is known as called keyword method. Okay, now using an image, try to relate your target word with the keyword. Okay, your target word is scowl and the keyword is your owl. Since the word scowl sounds similar to owl, all right, you want to learn scowl, but you are learning with a keyword known as called owl, which is easy for you. Now you can imagine the picture of an owl with an angry expression. Okay, study, all right, and this is how you will be able to learn it. So further it says that studies have suggested that this method of learning definition or vocabulary is far more superior than rote learning. Okay, and what is this rote learning is means memorizing. Okay, when we say the rote learning means memorizing and not understanding anything. Now the second method of strategies for enhancing memory is mnemonic using organization. Now what we are doing, we are organizing things. Okay, like for an example, if I given you the picture of a pot, few stone, pebbles, a picture of crow, some water. So what you will do, you will organize that, and a story will come out of it. right? So this is just a small example of organization. Let's see what it says. It improves this mnemonic using organization improves the ability to learn and retrieve information accurately by applying the principles of reorganization of the material to be learned. Okay, that what material has been given to you, reorganize and you form it in the form of a information. Okay, so under mnemonic using organization, the first type of strategy is chunking. Okay. Okay. Now, if I talk to you in layman language, what the chunking means, so here the pieces of information we are putting together and making an information out of it. Like, let's see what it says. So it is the method of combining the smaller units into the meaningful large unit. What we are doing, smaller units are there and we are making a meaningful large unit out of it. Like as I told you that I have given you the picture of earthen pot, water, pebbles, crow. So with the help of that your mind will frame a story. So I have given you the small chunks and out of that you have formed a meaningful large unit. Okay, so such as, and if we are asked to remember, like for example, one example is given over here also, like if you have been asked to remember this numbers 1939 1945. All right, so if you are well versed with the world history, then you can also group this. What we can do, the grouping of this, we can chunk them, okay, in the largest pieces. These are small numbers, so we can make the group out of it. Okay, this is the one group, this is the another group. So if we do so, see here, if I show you, okay, if I divide it like this is the one thing, and if I divide it like this, okay, so now see I have divided. So now what it has become, one has become 1939 and another has become 1945. So this small piece of information we have made it little larger, meaningful larger unit. Okay, so this can also be remembered as like the Second World War, which was started in 1939. All right, so this is the date of your Second World War. Okay, and ended in the Second World War was ended in 1945. So in this way you can memorize as well as recall these numbers more accurately. Okay, so under mnemonic using the organization, the next strategy is the first letter technique in okay. So what we do in this technique, the first letter of each word, okay, you want to memorize. All right, like for example, if you need to memorize All India Radio, okay, so for that you can take A I R R, right? The first letter we have taken. Okay, the first letter has been taken here to make a meaningful word or sentence in this process. Okay, now here they have given another example here. For example, the color of the rainbow can be remembered using this technique. And what is that? Like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Okay, so what we do, we can take the initial of all this. Okay, all this we will take the initials. If we will take this initials of each of this, so what we will come up with, we will get this V, I, B. I take this G of the green, yellow, orange, and red. All right, so what I got, the new word which I got here is your this is the new word I got, Vibgyor, right? So that stands for all the 7 colors of the rainbow. So alright guys, thank you for watching, and I hope that you will enjoy this video, and if you will like this video, then please like, subscribe and share with your friends. So if we have a quick look of this, if we recap it quickly what we have done today. So we have learnt about memory, we have learnt about the nature and scope of memory, process of memory that includes your encoding, storage and retrieval. We have learnt about the types of memory that include your declarative or explicit memory. Next one was your non-declarative, which is also known as called implicit memory, and third one was your sensory memory. So we have learnt about the 3 types of memory. We have learnt about the strategies, various strategies of enhancing or developing memories. Under that we have learnt about the 2 main ways, that is, one is mnemonic using images and the second was mnemonic using organization. All right, so that's all for today's topic of discussion. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye and take care.